follow him, even if they sincerely are deceived, friends, are going to end up burned to ashes on the surface of this earth. Look with me in the book of Malachi, in the last chapter, chapter 4. And there's a description of what will happen at the end of this world's history. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings. And ye shall go forth and grow up as calves in the stall, and ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, saith the Lord. There is no future in following Lucifer. Today, and I say that, you know, if I was just talking to Christians, they would say, well, of course I believe that. Why are you presenting this? Because today, Lucifer is a beloved leader among the largest group of religious believers in the world. The worship of Lucifer is witchcraft. And that's the fastest growing movement in the world today. There are many today that are holding the hands of another god who are going to wake up in terror one day. Now you remember the story of Lucifer in the Bible, how he fell from heaven. God announced that he was now the adversary. That's the word Satan. And coming into the Garden of Eden, he took the form of a serpent, or a dragon, a winged serpent. And there, through that medium, he deceived Eve into eating the fruit of the tree, bringing about the woe and misery into the world of man. But the one thing that's interesting about that is what the serpent said. It said that ye shall not surely die. The teaching of the immortality of the soul has transcended every religious institution. There is very, very few in this world today that believes that when you die, you go to sleep. But this is the number one doctrine that is being used by Satan today to deceive the world. If you would turn with me to the book of Psalms. That'll be Psalms chapter 115. We'll read about what happens to a man when he dies. Verse 17, the dead praise not the Lord, neither any that go down into silence. You remember the words of Christ when he said Lazarus was asleep? He finally said Lazarus was dead. Take the time to study out the subject of the dead in the Bible. It's the one subject that Satan does not want the Christian world to understand. And what's happening to our world today, I just want to show you a few things in the time that we have here. The first thing I want to show you is from a book written by a Protestant Christian called Unholy Spirits. In this book, he makes an amazing observation of history. He says this: occultism surfaces as a cultural phenomenon at the end of civilization. And we're experiencing the greatest occult revolution that the world has ever seen in recorded history. He said the consistent occultism of the late Roman Empire overwhelmed the rational, confident aspects of older classical civilization and weakened it sufficiently so that only the Christian had sufficient authority and self-confidence to take over and rebuild its faltering institution. Occultism came at the end of the medieval world, not during it, contrary to popular opinion. It has now come at the end of the enlightenment of humanism, at the end of civilization. The evidence that we have to share you that our world around us, and especially the United States, is saturated with the worship of Lucifer, is an indication that we have come to an end of civilization and to an end of the history of the world. I'll give you one example, and not necessarily from someone who's a Christian who's just looking at these things, trying to find little things to prove his point. But this book, called The Secret Teachings of All Ages by Manly P. Hall, one of the leading authors, writers, and historians in the area of occult theology, witchcraft, and masonry. He makes a statement that is quoted by Dave Hunt in the book The Seduction of Christianity, and I'd like to read that to you. He says here, "There is abundant evidence that in many forms of modern thought, especially the so-called prosperity psychology, willpower building, metaphysics, and systems of high-pressure salesmanship, that black magic has merely passed through a metamorphosis, and although its name may be changed, its nature remains the same. Modern thought today, modern psychology, human potential, the imagery, and all of these seminars that are going on mind sciences are a revival of theurgy, which was the art of controlling the world around you by your own imagination. It was called black magic, and it's taking the world today. These things should shock us and amaze us, and we should begin to research and study out where we're at individually in our relationship to the world to see if we're being deceived by these things. If you look at the slide, you see a picture of Lucifer. So beautiful and so loved by the angels that they actually believed that when he said that he should become a god, they believed that he should. That he should have that opportunity. And when he tried to take the throne of God by force, a third of the angels entered in with him. These beings of tremendous intelligence, with tremendous minds, were able to be deceived by him. What chance do we have if we don't draw close to God? Now, the image of the serpent was used in Eden, and we can see that it has been used in every major pagan culture throughout the world ever since. Look at this quotation from a Mason, one of the leading Masons, a man by the name of Pearson. It says that all the mysteries throughout the world were the same in substance, being derived from one source and celebrated in honor of the same deities, though acknowledged under different appellations, is further evidenced from the fact that they are traced to the plains of Shinar before the dispersion of mankind. As we go to the plains of Shinar, we find that the head god of the pantheon of Babylonian deities, the head demon, the word demon meant the spirit of the dead. It didn't mean a fallen angel in the original terminology. It meant worshiping the dead. The head demon was Enlil, the Lord of demons, the serpent god that waits in the path to destroy mankind. You see, the Babylonians did not believe you have to worship a good god, but you must worship the destroyer to placate him. The entire system of Luciferian worship, the Luciferian conspiracy, originated around a fear religion, a fear of death. In the Babylonian text, the 7 planets are compared to an enormous serpent with 7 heads, 7 serpents rising out of the sea. No accident here. The serpent can only be traced back to Eden. These 7 gods were said to be the messengers of Enlil, the Lord of demons, or Nergal, the king of Hades, the weapon by which the evil one brought misfortune and disaster and death upon mankind. They worshiped the devil in the form of a serpent. The Greeks pictured Hydra with 7 heads. In Chinese myths, each head of Hydra was said to rule over 7 planets. Giant 7-headed serpents are found in temples in Indochina, and the sun god Buddha is sometimes pictured with 7 heads, or seated on the 7-headed serpent. The Yazidis of Mesopotamia worship Shaitan, the devil, and claim that he had 7 forms. In India, Juggernaut is sometimes pictured as a 7-headed dragon. Krishna and other Hindu deities are all pictured seated on or canopied by 7-headed serpents. And in India, this day, Shiva is worshipped as a 7-headed serpent himself. The Romans had a building called the Septizonium, and the 7 zones. A common title for Rome was Septimonium, or the 7 mountains. The whole concept